Years over in the Twin Cities area, there are alarming allegations against a Metro nursing home. Police are investigating whether staff let a patient die, then tried to cover it up. David Schumann has our story.
The Villas at Richfield says on its website it uses a holistic approach to long-term care. Police are now investigating the nursing facility. A search warrant filed this week says a patient named Candace Columbus died there this month, and a responding paramedic later filed a report of abuse with the state. Columbus was 55. According to the warrant, the report said Villa's staff suspected the patient was dying but didn't check on her or call 911 promptly. When first responders were called, they saw staff filling out and suspected of forging a do not resuscitate form, which is an instruction to not give CPR if the person stops breathing. Body camera video is said to show staff on the phone with someone who claims to be the facility manager, who appears to be giving instructions on how to fill out the DNR form. Richfield police requested the warrant for Columbus's medical records, surveillance from the day she died, and information about the staff involved in her care. In a statement to WCCO, Monarch Healthcare Management, which owns the villas, said, "We take these allegations seriously and have conducted a thorough internal review, confirming documentation was in place prior to the incident in question and that 911 was called." The warrant says first responders asked for the DNR form several times, but staff didn't provide it. Monarch went on to say the Minnesota Department of Health also reviewed this incident and found no deficient practice.